Polo is a very dangerous sport. I don't know, quite honestly, why we don't have more accidents. People are galloping around at 30, 40 miles an hour, all at different angles. You just need somebody who's a little bit out of control or misjudges. I've been hit out of the saddle by Tommy Wayman, actually, and I went into a wheelchair for a few weeks, then on crutches. I was out for 2.5 months. I had 50 splinters taken out of my hand. That put me out for 4 months. I wear a mask because I just don't want to have my face smashed in. In the last 3 or 4 years, we've probably lost 5 or 6 polo players. It's usually broken necks.
It's a dangerous game, both for the horses and the man. I've been unconscious for 4 or 5 hours. A lot of stitches. I had 28 stitches here from a polo mallet.
I had a lot of accidents, but really serious was the horse went over me flat out. If the horse will catch you before you hit the ground, that will make you whip with the head or will land on top of your head, the horse, then it's really bad.
You get injuries all the time.
We didn't hit it quite so hard, did we?
It's no good worrying about them. Broken collarbone, broken cheekbone, broken... I cracked my jawbone about 2 years ago. But, you know, all these things, I mean, at the time, it's a pain, literally, but it's also a nuisance because you're laid off.
Acknowledged as the fastest game in the world after ice hockey, polo, not surprisingly, takes its toll on the ponies as well as the players. Apart from the inevitable cuts and bruises from flying mallets, the backbone and pelvis can sometimes be put out by the sharp stops and turns and violent ride-offs.
Those bones should be absolutely in a straight line like that. And where they've subluxated either one way or the other, then I'm straightening them out. That's what they should do too. Because if they're wrong, you can't lift that tail up. They clamp it down.
Claire Tomlinson has the highest handicap ever attained by a woman. Her father helped to revive post-war polo in England, and Claire now pursues it with extraordinary dedication, breeding and training more ponies than anyone else in England.
Claire Tomlinson, well, you don't give her much at all, because she's too good for that.
Potter!
She'll give it to you.
Potter!
You treat her as a, as a boy, really.
The first time I played against Claire, I didn't know the lady. I didn't want to be rude or bump hard or anything like that. And the next thing I know, boy, she about knocked me down. You're going to have to pay attention to what's going on here. This lady's come to play polo.
Some men will really try to rough you up, especially in England. The Argentines are always very polite. But you see, the better the player, the less they need to be rough. The more agile that you can make your horse, it is a continuation of your body. You've got to put your horse within half an inch of where you want him to hit the correct shot. It's rather like approaching a fence. You have to get the stride. You want it to be lifting its legs up as you start to hit the ball. Polo ponies, the good ones, love the game. There is absolutely no question about it. You can feel that their heart is totally in it. There's an incredible shortage of polo ponies. So we breed them and bring them on with the aim that they're going to play polo. Above all, I try to handle them in a way where they trust the person who's handling them. And this means usually that you get a quiet horse that's not going to object when you do something new. I sit with them. when they're a year and a bit, and I back them when they're 3. I think if you take each pony at their own speed, there's no reason why they shouldn't all play polo.
There's a good girl. There's a good girl. I don't like any horse that kicks, or I don't think there's any excuse for that, really. There's a good girl. Hey. But I mean, when she gets going, she's not a donkey.
Once they're 6, they've got to go and earn their oats.
So open up. If they learn to shy away from other horses, then they're always going to do it. Come on. You can't actually get them to ride off properly until they answer to the leg, move away from the leg. You have to be on the verge of doing a half pass. Hopefully by the time my ponies play properly, they can do a half pass. Don't let her jack out. Don't let her do that. She mustn't learn to do that. Come on, push her on. Give her one down the backside. Come on, push her on. Faster. That's it. Well done.
I usually make about 7 or 8 polo ponies every year.
There's a good girl.
Time
That
is the
was a
thing.
bit crooked.
Once you try to hurry it,
Come on,
that's when the
work.
ponies go wrong.
Come on. Come on. No, wrong leg. Come on. There's a good girl. Come on.
In Argentina, they tend to handle their horses much later. The time spent in the early stages is nil, and they try to condense the breaking in time.
Ah, el Polo, videojuego.
In Argentina, they'll want them to buck. Their idea is that they've got to break the horse's spirit. They have to conquer the horse. And some of the methods are cruel, but it seems to work for them. You know, they get some very good horses.
Algarrobal, qué gusto me dan tus ramas cuando empiezan a brotar, cuando empiezan a brotar, seña que viene llegando ya el tiempo del carnaval, ya el tiempo del carnaval, yo ya me pongo a llorar.
As interest in the sport increases, so do the pressures on the top players. Often under contract to a commercial sponsor or a private patron, they travel around the world following the sun, playing for 11.5 months a year in 4 or 5 different countries.
You kind of lose sense of reality because you're always moving and 3 months here, 2 months there. And I'd like to stay at home sometimes.
It's a lot tougher in America. The grounds are better, faster, and they spend more money on their horses, so it gets a lot more sort of brutal, harder ride-offs. Gonzalo Pires could die when I say this, but he's one of those players that doesn't bother to get out of bed until 12 o'clock. And he's one of the lucky guys who's just a natural. He can do anything and then just turn up and be brilliant. He just has it in his blood. Very, very quick. Anticipation is incredible.
When you play against Gonzalo, he's mounted so well, he doesn't have a weak chucker. He's got 6 very strong horses. So what you have to do, one player on your team has to get control of him, try to eliminate him before he ever gets to the ball. Don't ever let him get to the ball.
We have a whistle.
I think the best ability that I have is that I don't take too long to feel comfortable on any horse. Some people really do mind changing from one to another. I don't think you have to horses that they move the same in the whole world. You should be able to adjust to the horse in maybe 1 minute of the chucker. You cannot take longer than that because the game is over. The Hippon brothers, the higher the polo is, the better they play. In England, they don't play as much high goal polo, and I imagine that they got this ability just dreaming.
Julian ducks his head and goes through people. Howard really hits the ball hard. Neither one of them like to turn on the ball or tap the ball. They like to play a fast running game. So what you try to do is slow the game down. They're both really top players.
Tommy Wayman getting the first score of this afternoon's match, and it's now Ratama, Southern Hills.
Tommy Wayman, he likes sitting with the boys, chewing his tobacco and spitting with a can of beer in his hand, and to play polo with the people he likes. He has a very good reputation of making horses. Wonderful striking ability.
He has one of the best eyes you can find in polo. He's very good to hit the ball in the air. If the ground is bouncy, it's no different for him. He's always very well mounted. The best way to play against him is to try to play a very open game. He's one of the quickest in the game.
You know, you never, ever play the perfect game. You've got to make a mistake somewhere. I think the reason I got better was because of the horses. I was able to make enough top horses to keep me a step ahead of the people that I was playing against. My horses play 6 months of the year, but no more than 3 months at a time. They last much longer than that. There are players, if they've got a good horse, they'll play at 2 chukkers in every game, 2 chukkers, 2 chukkers. Well, if a horse has got 1,000 chukkers in him over a 10-year period, you're cutting his lifespan in half. So I don't like to double up on my horses unless I just really have to. And, which maybe once a year I'll play a horse twice, and that's all. And my horses last longer. I've got horses that I'm playing now that have been playing high goal polo under me for 6, 7 years.
Like to go. Shot. He's on the mark. Howie Wayman, former 10-goal player. And what a beautiful net shot.
Dog park.
Look at that.
I got the collar to see him go, Harvey. I can't believe it. Well done, Mike. I can't believe it. How many times we've been to this thing and we've never done it?
I love that. I love the miniature one.
The press have built us into sort of jet-set, macho men that earn millions and millions or thousands and thousands. In actual fact, our life is a way of life.
I never feel it as a social thing. For us, really, all the champagne and all those things, and, you know, we take it as something normal.
There's some people that come to polo games not to watch the game, but just to be seen. But to each his own. The high society image of polo doesn't affect me that much because it's a living to me.
Polo is on the increase. It's on the increase here in Argentina. It's growing in the United States. I haven't been in England lately, but I imagine that will be growing there. It's growing in Brazil, growing in all South and North America. Even they're playing polo in Asia. In the whole world, I think the polo is growing. Polo is changing. Before it used to be more a game to play between friends. I think now that you have to play to win.
The speed they go at now is out of this world.
Polo has done nothing but go up for the last 5 years. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea. Things are happening too fast for me. It's just grown by leaps and bounds. It's just incredible. I would think that the golden days of polo are now maybe just beginning.